10 years after the apocalypse, zombies that are spreading all over the earth. The governments of the world are trying to stop the virus. Use a variety of ways. Some use nuclear, biological weapons, or quarantine the country's territory. But all that was for nothing. 10 million people reportedly died. So a special forces team was made to eradicate little by little zombies. Of the live broadcast scene, the special forces tried to come to the house in the United States. It was guided by a cameraman named Erica. At first, everything seemed silent, with the appearance of a messy situation. But who would have thought, when they hurried to walk further, voice after voice began to sound. Things began to turn tense. 6th Division troops trying to get to the source of the sound. It's like being trapped by zombies, because they started getting attacked, bitten, and even shredded. One by one, the team began to be eliminated. But they have to walk to complete the given mission. Fear must be in the minds of the troops, because zombies can jump, running, and very aggressive. From whose intent was to slaughter. Special Forces RJ Division behind slaughtered, with one officer still remaining. Erica tried to go by car. Even Erica as the cameraman should be shot because he had bitten. Rekill is an apocalypse event created by Special Forces with assignments: eradicate the zombies. While on the sidelines of the Rekill event, a special drug called Vividine seems to have managed to save bitten women from becoming zombies. Whether true or not, but certainly according to the ads spread, the drug is able to make humans kebab. Of the failed mission, 8A, our Special Division troops must be killed, including with Erica as a journalist. Camera holder. Usually the cameraman is always safe, guys. Erica death hose. Rekill event continues. Cameraman now changed by Jimmy. Damana. Jimmy now embarks on an adventure at a military base. He felt very awkward, so he tried to get acquainted with his team. Which one is there? There's Alex, who assumed if this virus was made by a government, and he thinks an elected government like the president, scientist, is now hiding in an underground ark, and will appears when the Earth situation is confirmed to be safe. In the Squad 8, that along with Jimmy, there was the only woman in the Special Forces named Ross. She used to work as a nurse. And Omar broke into the 8th Division for being caught stealing. So some people who served instead of really big in the military, even some of them came in because they had problems. Special Forces Division. This is opened up to people who have the guts. Even there's a Parker trend, and the team is led by a sergeant who does not want to talk a lot. The time of their mission now begins. They are in charge of going to the farming area to ambush the zombies, as well as some group of hooligans who often acts pretentious in this zombie apocalypse, where according to the news, it was keeping their already zombie families. Then from that, they plan to stop to prevent there's a more widespread infection, even though they don't accept people beloved being a zombie, but letting zombies in life is not right. Then some team was assigned to eradicate zombies in the roof area. The situation there is terrible. There was a foul smell, really sting. Until Tom had to be bitten for not being prepared to fight. The aggressiveness of the zombies that was very fast. Tom's part must be finished off because it has changed. In the 8th Division team, there is a man who is very reckless. His name is Winston. He doesn't want to talk too much, but once he talks, always cornering the situation and create havoc for the team. Special Forces moves when getting a new mission from Command Center, where it is the center that can see the situation of the city. So now, they were directed to lay off a truck that, in a hurry, because the center was suspicious, they brought zombies to sell. Without further ado longer, the VC-8 start receiving they started preparing for another fight that likely, it's more dangerous. At first, there was a pretty interesting chase between trucks and also cars carried by the VC-8. They finally managed to block the truck. Even the sergeant started directing the driver to talk. It brings what? The team here began to feel that something was odd, because the driver kept dodging about. What they bring is just a DVD player. But when Winston and Parker check, out came dozens of very aggressive zombies. Because they're so fast, the delicacy of bullets now continues to be heard without. Situation is really out of hand. The zombies tried to attack the troops that were not. There is fear. Approached them. until Winston also took the initiative to close the truck they were carrying because the zombies never run out, and the sergeant started ending with rocket launches. Luckily for the mission, no one was killed. They will continue to do this until zombies were completely run out on the face of the earth. Even though it's heavy, they have to do, because that's the only way that people on Earth can go back to life like the beginning. But their job won't be too easy, because every day the zombies' behavior got smarter. They will learn to avoid attacks, even some of them seen able to hold a weapon. After performing the mission, the squad of the 8th Division must bathing in a special way keep them away from infection that may be scattered through the air. But one of the team, named Guyan, must now be moved to the control room because there was a scratch on his arm. Even so, rules are rules. Captain Adam doesn't want any infection inside the base, so all protocols are very strict. Whoever gets out will be monitored sometime when they made it back in. Captain Adam, who questioned a driver truck that they secured, apparently getting confused because according to the driver, he was assigned to bring the zombies to be administered by the hospital in Judas project, where they're making something that's probably gonna created an immune serum from zombies. Captain Adam was curious, so he tried to ask the sergeant to further bring his team, find out about the Judas project. But the sergeant had refused because that thing is very dangerous. So what the captain wants, they don't have to be able to. The sergeant before was not from the military guy, but it was the supermarket manager who lost his wife and also the child over the zombies. So the sergeant was very hard on this, as if he wanted to avenge zombies for lost what he found. Even though the world completely collapsed due to a zombie apocalypse, but the TV broadcast still went on. Even some composed ads like gun commercials to fight zombies, even advertising a drug with zombie-resistant properties. Although the sergeant had previously refused to come location Yudas project that the truck driver sent, but a mission is a mission. They must still obey orders. Some teams also blamed the sergeant why he agreed, but keep in mind, they became a special forces. There is no element of coercion. They come alone, they list. So they have to accept the good and bad. Their mission is a little different now because they had to enter the New York area, which became early stage of infection that had been shut down by a giant wall. And for 10 years, no one can get in there. Argument after argument continues to be composed. What is behind the wall? Maybe even this will be the most important mission between missions. Another mission carried out by a special forces division. Even according to the fact, last week there are other divisions they have assigned to carry out this, but they never heard. And definitely not coming back. Their journey to the zone continues until they arrive at the insertion point. Who brought the sergeant? Focus his team so they can find info. Anything about Yudas project related to the zombies. Omar. The Squad 8 was originally from the Squad 6. And 3 months ago, Squad 6 is assigned to the zone area. But Omar has a fever. Those who do not feel very lucky, because since the mission his friends could not return, they began to feel fear, because other divisions, which is categorized as the original troops of the military, died in this mission. Especially those who are only ordinary employees, even criminal offenders. But either way they have to focus. The sergeant began to divide the team in order to get Judas information. Project as soon as possible. Area where they were visiting was a complete mess. There are several doctors who have the name tag Yudas. Project has been slaughtered by zombies. They just keep going down every hallway and room by room to search what they want. Jimmy saw something, began to report to the sergeant so that they be careful. Jimmy was accompanied by Bobby, served as a camera assistant. Up in the middle of walking in the dark hallway, Trent started seeing a wheelchair that was moving. But when they start walking, Parker carelessly starts following the zombies running, but it looks like it's all a trap. Because the zombies now come with so many, in dark conditions, it's not easy for them to shoot. Even from that, Trent affected by the bite must be about to be executed. And when Cabo will act, it was shot back. It spurred teams began to lose to people at once, which is the Carter trend and also Cabo. The 8th Division only has 4 soldiers left. No, Jimmy and Bobby as cameramen. Even though it grieves, but their mission must continue. They began to scatter into the area. Children, there are some zombie corpses of children. Even some dolls. Batsuda walked into a trap. They've apparently been awaited by zombies. Children whose number cannot be counted. They're very quick dodgy. Even so fast it's not easy to see. Alex Winston was bitten. Deploy a group to go, because he will sacrifice himself. Because the squad is getting thinner, Jimmy was given a gun to defend himself. Although the situation continues to turn tense, they can't just leave. Before information about Yudas, projects they actually get. Zombies are coming at them more and more, even hundreds to thousands. It makes them anxious, no time to rest for them. Because if they were silent, the zombies will catch them. The zombies are on either side. The numbers can count as millions. So many. Hernandez is stalling, should also be attacked and fall along, as if it was a suicide mission. Those who continue running can't just freely go. Because the zombies are gone, endless coming to attack, until they are now trapped in the room. Buntu have no other option, other than he will give himself up for the safety of the group. But suddenly, a man came directing them to follow, because it has a hiding place. What does it look like? That person is a worker from the Yudas project who still survived. And trapped. He then began to report on the Judas files. Project was not to make an immune drug from zombies, but dissect the brains of zombies to make them capable of thinking. And it was a huge mistake. Because with the ability to think, the zombies will act more violently then. What do they think? So the man spoke. If all the world should know, what is Yudas project doing? Because if not those who thought it was an ordinary zombie easily behind being hunted by zombie. Contact every 2 hours. A drone will come to carry files. Jimmy's footage to play on the TV. Them who have time to warn people. Through the impressions Jimmy recorded, start looking for a way to meet the drone to deliver Jimmy's video file. They walked through underground channels, a very dark one. So dark, they couldn't see when the zombies be in front of him. Lucky, they were still able to continue the journey with be careful. In that session, they met the zombie Elvis, which is said was deliberately made to lead an army of zombies, to direct him to hunt down the humans they see. The whole world should know. The sergeant directs them to get a little closer, so that Jimmy can record something to send to Central. But because there is no choice, those who are now trying to climb a roof started slowly recording what the zombies are doing. But damn, hundreds of thousands, even millions of zombies seen gathering with a scream. Until when it was recording, Bobby's sudden attack had to fall. Until now, millions of zombies saw them. So they started running to be able to save themselves. The escape now continues to be done with great panic and also gripping, and the maid must now die too. That thing leaves the sergeant, Ross and Jimmy, who is now trapped in a room without. There is a way for them to get out. As time goes by, the zombies were getting closer to their room. Moreover, their bullets are now completely thinning. They're confused what could bring them to survive this situation. They are now entering a lab, which is alleged to be place of Yudas Project Execute for zombie, until one by one zombies began to enter their area, and the sergeant directed Rose and Jimmy to find a way out. However, the zombie Elvis is coming in a limited grip because while carrying a camera, Jimmy was trying to help Rose, which has now fallen into the outer area. While Jimmy got the bite, could only fixate on seeing the sergeant now under attack. Because the video footage could not be sent, Citizens who do not know anything about the zombie variant. This is now made ravaged, because Yudas zombies have started coming out New York walls and will be invading the city area. And it's estimated that the number of zombies is in the millions. Several weeks passed on Virginia base. Apparently the surviving rows now start preparing, going to help people who are still surviving the plague. These zombies